Hello. Still in the process of sharing this. Please, one moment. One moment. Oh, send that. Okay, and then we hit send to that. Messages. Okay, I think the alert went out. Give it a second for a couple folks to get in here. I've got a little bit more time to talk with everybody today than I did yesterday. Hopefully the audio holds. So you see the title, James Best and Hensley Hate America. All Americans. And I did a video a long time ago about Hensley hating America. I'll have to find that and re-upload it so you can see the continuation of this. But I had a phone call with Hensley a little earlier today, and I'm going to get into some of the details of that phone call so that you guys understand my point of view here. But I got a few questions before I get to that. Are you guys you ready to answer some questions? Simple yes or no in the old chat box there. How many of you have ever dealt with a broker before? Have you dealt with a broker before? Simple yes or no. I guess I'm just gonna have to hold this. I don't think the service is very good when it's up there on the dash. So Ike is the only person that wants to respond out of 23 people. That's interesting. We got 24 people. Where's all the hate watchers? Look at them all. What's up? So you've dealt with a broker. Okay. Who else has dealt with a broker before? I've dealt with a broker before. Where's James Hensley? Because I sent him this link personally. There's Bandana. Where's James Best? Because I sent him this link also. Where you guys at there, buds? There's James Best. I'm here to tell you why you hate America, James Best, and all Americans. Bandana's dealt with a broker before. I know James Best has. So do you guys believe that brokers are being 100% honest? Do you believe that brokers are doing right by you every time you talk to a broker? That they're giving you your fair share of the money out of a load? Do you guys believe that? Do you believe that brokers are giving you your fair share of money? Just curiosity here. I'm making a point, so indulge me for a second if you don't mind. Indulge me there, James Best. Indulge me. Do you think that brokers are giving you a fair shake every time you deal with one? Do the same thing that we do. You get what you can, right? So they take as much as you'll let them, right? Do you think that there should be something that yes, of course they have to make something, but do you think that there should be a limit to the percentage of a rate that they can take? Do you think it should be 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%? How much do you think the broker should be able to take off of a load? So let's say it's $1,000 load. The customer pays the broker $1,000 to find a truck for that load. Do you think that he should be able to take 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%? How much do you think he should take? 10% for his efforts? Okay. Coach, indulge me here. Indulge me here. You say you can't limit them, but I'm just asking. Brokers should absolutely be limited on the commission. Max 10%. Okay, well, the phone call I had earlier with James Hensley today, Hensley told me that brokers shouldn't have a limit. At least their brokers should have no regulation. There should be no rules that govern brokerages. According to James Hensley, there should be no rules that govern brokerages. See, and that's a problem, James Best. See, because you guys are asking for a handout here. You're asking for a big old bailout. I make good money from the coach. YouTube's 30%. That's pretty funny. Uh, but he says there should be no regulations on the brokers, which I don't agree with. Listen, truckers have more regulations than airline pilots, right? As far as our hours of service and requirements and all those kind of things. And it is a dog eat dog world. Okay, it is a dog eat dog world. Um, and the power of negotiation is a huge thing. However, I don't think that a broker should be able to say, you know, that's that's it. That's it. Because but not telling you the facts, right? Because coach, you did a video about being able to see, the sheets from the broker between the broker and the shipper, wanting to see how much they got paid. You guys preach about that, right? I mean, a whole bunch of you made videos saying that you wanted to see all of those sheets to see how much the broker got. Well, what's the reasoning behind that? You want to see how much the broker got so that you're not getting screwed, right? Am I right? I mean, other than that, why do you want to see those sheets? So obviously, you're just disagreeing with me to disagree. Exactly, coach. It's called transparency. And the fact is, brokers are shady. You know they're shady. You've said they're shady. And they hide things from you, including the money, right? You want to know how much is still in the load. So you're contradicting yourself. You say that the brokers shouldn't have any regulations, they shouldn't have any of this, but if you want to make them show you those sheets, that would be a regulation. That would be a regulation to make them show you those sheets. Okay? Brokers shouldn't be able to take more than a set percentage off of a load. Brokers are fucking useless. Okay? They're pointless. They whittled their way into this industry, and everybody thinks that there's no law that forces them to show you. Show me the law, James Best. Quote the number of the law right now. If you're so sure that there's a law, quote the law where it says that they have to show you those sheets, including the amount they were paid. As a driver, you're required to know the origin of the load and all that kind of stuff. You give the right of way and carrier packets. Says they must keep those records and provide them. So 49 oh, it's going too fast. Says that they must keep those records and provide them so transparency. They don't show them to you, coach. They don't show them to you. How many times have you gotten them? I'm sure you've gotten them a few, but not every time. Guarantee you some of them tell you to go fuck yourself on the phone. See, here's the problem. You guys want this $1.50, this, for 2 months, it would be like $25 billion to recoup all that kind of shit. You'd want $25 billion from the American taxpayer to cover your losses or other losses or whatever that you don't even need. Yeah, I know. I asked for the law. I appreciate you posting that up there. I was asking James Best. You came to his rescue. It's cool how you guys hold each other dicks. It's pretty cute. But you guys don't even need the money. At least that's what Hensley told me. He said you don't even need it. He said you need it, so you just want extra money to pad your pockets or what? What's the point of doing all this if you don't need the money? Hensley said you don't. He said you're not at risk of going out of business, that you're doing great. So I'm just curious, since you're doing great, why do you need $45,000 for 2 months when you were making great money? Yeah, when are we going to DC, Coach? I saw you pulled that video down, I guess. You got your agenda, but you don't know shit. I know way more than the person you have attacking everybody, James Best. Free market doesn't work that way. I think you guys have free market and all these things messed up. Do the math, Coach. On average, it's somewhere between $30,000 and $45,000 to recoup what you're saying that you guys lost. So you can do the math. According to IDA, there's what, like 380 something thousand owner operators. So if you just make it an even number, say 500,000, and you do average miles, average cents per mile, all those kind of things, it comes out to $22.5 billion to cover those losses just for the owner operators for those 2 months. And you're asking for this to be a continual thing, and not only for owner operators, but for also for company drivers. You're asking the government for help. You've got your hands out to the government for money. That is socialism. Again, maybe you want James Best. It's the principle. So if you start at $1.50 and you get 50 cents, what is that? 6 billion, something like that. Plus another 2 billion for the 30 cents you guys want to give company drivers. So you're asking for $8 billion. Do you not think that if that were to go through, okay, if that went through, let's say for sake of argument that it goes through and Mitch McConnell helps you and works his magic and all this kind of happy horse shit, and you get all this money, you don't think that other industries, um, other professions in the country are going to just be like, oh, cool, they got that money? No, they're going to want their share. They're going to want their share. Would you like to see that proposal so you just don't make stuff up? Canelo, I would love to see an actual proposal. Besides the shit that's on this website, besides the half chewed up fucking shit that some of these guys put out. I told Hensley that on the phone when we talked. Like this is what people are seeing. What people are seeing is an unfinished product, right? That's what's on this website is an unfinished product. According to Hensley, not everything's on there. Why did no one put money back? Talk about all the time. Exactly, Gary B. Exactly. You don't agree with the stimulus for company drivers. The stimulus is to make you whole. No, the stimulus isn't to make you whole because this last stimulus didn't make people whole, Coach. This 1,200 or 2,400 or whatever people got. Personally, I didn't get shit, but whatever people got, it didn't make them whole. See, here's the problem: when you ask the government for too much fucking help, that's the whole problem with this. Is you're asking the government for the fucking help with getting money from the government, which is the American taxpayer. We all can agree on that. Here's the thing. They put this stimulus into play, which is $7 trillion or whatever it was. However, uh, yes, stimulate your account with more work. I hear you. They did $7 trillion. Um, there's already to if last I heard, don't hold me to this, but almost 30 million jobless claims in the last like month, 2 months, some shit like that. It's far beyond that. You're not gonna fix this with that shit. The way you fix this, the way you fix the problem with the trucking is stop the brokers from taking more than their taking more than their share. The way you fix it with the country is get people back to fucking work. Okay? We got out of the Great Depression, not because we went to war, because people went to fucking work. History lesson for you. It's a revolving door. You understand how that works? The government ordered some tanks and shit. So companies had money to pay workers. Okay? They had they had money to pay workers. Those workers got paid and paid taxes. It went back to the government who could use that money to buy more fucking tanks. The government's not supposed to give you shit. The government is supposed to give you protection, okay? A militia, Read the fucking Constitution, people. They're supposed to protect you from other countries. You shouldn't have to worry. You shouldn't have to be worried about protecting yourself from your own fucking government. And when you ask the government for money, they want shit in return. It might not be now. It might not be next month. But in a year or so, they're going to say, oh, you know what, trucking industry, we bailed your ass out. We gave you a whole bunch of fucking money. We're going to cut your hours of service back. Now you can only drive 8 hours a day. And ain't nobody going to be able to say shit. Because the person you got to help you, old Mitch McConnell there, will probably be the one spearheading it because the ATA's up his ass, giving him campaign contributions. It's a whole fucked up system, people. You've got guys like fucking like Nancy Pelosi who've been in office since 1987. The shit that she campaigned on in 1987, the issues that were 30 years ago, over 30 years ago, do not apply today. Okay? They just don't. You're selling your freedom. Okay? You're selling your fucking freedom is what you're doing. You're selling your rights. You ask the government for money, they'll give it to you. They'll give it to you. Hey, whatever. We're asking for a subsidy to make. Listen, Coach. What did I hear? 66% of owner operators in the country have their trucks paid off. Average cost for a paid off truck to run per mile is like 50 some cents or something. I forget the numbers. I can put them in there, but that's probably even lower now, given the fact that fuel costs are even lower. So maybe your truck's too expensive. If rates were 210 before the pandemic, we're asking basically for a subsidy to make owner operators whole. You, Coach, when I first got on the spot market, rates weren't at fucking 210, and I was pulling reefer. Okay, we were excited to get $1.80, $1.85 back then. Okay, and that's only a few years ago. You can't base this shit off of the numbers that you were getting for dry van when you were running your fucking what you call them loads. You know what I'm saying? Asking the government for money. Go do some research on Venezuela. Go look at what happened to Venezuela when the people started asking them for fucking money. Anybody who thinks that brokers shouldn't have some kind of regulation when the industry they're serving has more regulations than airline pilots is fucking uneducated and dumb. Uneducated and dumb. And anybody who thinks that veterans don't deserve their benefits, fucking dumb. Unpatriotic. Coach, the oath you took said to protect the country, defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And you're starting to become one of those domestic enemies because you're getting in bed with a tyrannous government. Okay, you're asking to sell your rights off. Hey, yeah, I'll give you your rights. Just give me $45,000 or $30,000, whatever. Fucking fuck it. I don't need it. I don't need it. Take it. You can take my rights. Got shit to do later. Yeah, go get drunk and do another live feed. They always seem to work out for you because you sound super fucking educated. Let me take all of my debt from one credit card and move it to another credit card, and then I'll just file bankruptcy, which is basically robbing. Whatever. Fuck you. I'm doing great. Hensley asked me today, he says, why don't you just sit down at the table and discuss this shit? Da, 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 da. The reason is because you can't fix fucking stupid. You can't fix stupid. Basically. Get your truck payments here, folks. Truckers Go Shipping. This YouTube 30% is funny as hell. Man, I don't care if you're asking for $1.50, 50 cents. It don't matter. It don't matter what you're asking for. The fact that you're asking the government for a fucking handout, and that's what it is. You're asking for a damn bailout, not a stimulus. It's not going to stimulate shit. Okay? The money that they gave everybody didn't stimulate a fucking thing. Okay? It didn't. Can 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 we fucking agree that this last stimulus, $7 trillion, where they gave everyone in America money, didn't stimulate anything because the government didn't do shit right in the first place? And here you are asking for more involvement from them in the trucking industry, where for years everybody said to keep the government out of it. It didn't stimulate anything. You know why? Because they didn't put a moratorium on anything. Okay? They didn't put a moratorium on anything. People still had to pay their car payments, credit card payments, house payments, light bill, buy food, pay their insurance, you know, kids' tuition, whatever it was. The government didn't step in and do anything when it comes to that. All right, Jay, I'd love to check it out. The government didn't step in and do anything on that. So that money that they gave people, that stimulus, that fucking thing that was gonna fire shit up or what makes shit okay for people, they had to use that $1,200 or that $2,400 or whatever it was. They had to do that shit, and they had to use that shit to not get kicked out of their house, or to keep their lights on, or to pay their car insurance or whatever. Now a lot of those companies stepped up independently and said, "Hey, we're gonna give everybody a break," blah 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 blah. But they could have stepped in and said, "Hey, we're not going to take payments for anything. All right, people." They could have told the credit card companies, power companies, all these people, freeze everything. Okay, freeze it all, and let those people use that money they got to buy supplies, to buy food, to buy, you know, baby formula, diapers, whatever it was that they needed. But those people that were out of work, those almost 30 million Americans that have already filed unemployment claims. I mean, come on, man. You guys want to get the government more and more involved. That's a huge mistake, regardless. I mean, I'm more than willing to sit down at a table and discuss my views and my points and everything with anybody, as long as everybody's willing to listen and not make an argument and make it a civil discussion. I'll read the proposal that Jay is going to email over. I have no problem reading it and being open to it. The simple fact that the government's getting involved should scare the shit out of anybody. Here's the thing. You people want a better life here in the country? Work harder, vote smarter. Work harder, vote smarter. It's that simple. And I'm not talking about Trump. Trump is a figurehead. He's doing whatever the little geeks behind him tell him to do. Okay? People that have been in office for 30, 40 fucking years shouldn't be there. Vote for people who believe in term limits. How is it that governors and the president and shit like these people, they can only serve for a set number of years, but a congressman or a senator can serve for as long as they fucking want? Or just do a lot of illegal things and don't get caught, right? I guess. I mean, you can make the argument and personally bash me and do whatever you want because you think this is a personal attack on the people who are involved in this. It's not. It's on the idea. It's on the movement, on the principle of getting the government involved and asking the government for money. If you want the government's involvement, you should be asking for less regulations on truck drivers, and you should be asking for way more regulations on brokers. They should be able to take 30, 40, 50 fucking percent for doing what? Sending their salesperson to a customer, getting a set number of loads, and then some geek on a computer breaks them down and then sells it to you. It's all about the money, man. It's all about the money. Hensley told me coaching them don't even need fuck money. That they're doing great. So I don't know. I don't know whose harebrained idea this was from the get go. Oh, by the way, James Best firmly believes that veterans do not deserve their benefits. Okay, I want to put that out there. So that's why they hate America. They hate Americans. I don't know why they wouldn't think veterans don't deserve their benefits. They take not what not what they're making. So, what I mean, brokers of the owner operator is. So that's my point on that. If you understand, apologize if there's misconfusion on that. Okay, I got I mean, I've already reached out to as far as news media goes, but because I'm trying to get some more information myself. I mean, it's all about information, right? I want to know what's going on because it affects everybody. It affects whether you're a company driver, a local company driver like myself, a local owner operator. You're running the ports. You're in the oil fields. You're an owner operator over the road. Something like this affects everybody in the industry. Even though the only people that are going to get the money. Appreciate that over the road. I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, it's gonna affect everybody in the industry because even though only some of the people might, okay, like this is hypothetical, some of the people might get a stimulus if something like this were to go through, which I highly doubt this shit will go through. But if it did, uh, but they will make regulations that will blanket the industry. You see what I'm saying? It'll affect everybody. It'll affect everybody. So that's my point on the whole thing. I'm just not for socialism, man. I'm not for asking the government for shit. Like it's like how many of you were pissed off when they did the big stimulus bailout thing in 2008? You know, we gave how much money away? What was it? $800 billion or $700 billion or some kind of crazy shit? I mean, come on, man. That was ridiculous because that money never made it to where it was supposed to go. You and I know that. That stayed with the CEO's pockets. You know what I'm saying? That stayed with all the people that didn't fucking deserve it. It didn't make it anywhere. A lot of it went to foreign countries and companies in foreign countries and all that kind of shit. You want more jobs? Get the government to stop allowing companies to leave the fucking country. And I don't mean by saying, oh, you can't leave to go to the other country. Put taxes and tariffs in place that force them to do it on their own, to stop paying the little Chinese kid 15 cents an hour to make the fucking iPhone. You know what I mean? Get them to make that shit here and create more jobs at home. But it also comes back to American ideology that we're better than everybody else and we can't do these fucking petty jobs or whatever the case is. That's how you get more jobs. Stop these companies from leaving the fucking country. You know, don't give them fucking tax incentives. Don't give them tax incentives. There's no reason to give them tax incentives. They're shipping jobs to other countries. Have them make that shit here again. They used to before, but they found out that, hey, we keep raising the minimum wage without raising the expectation. We can send all these jobs off and make it for cheap and line our pockets. You know what I mean? At least it makes sense in my head. A lot of it does. But this shit, it doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it will after I read Jay's email, but it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it because asking the government for anything fucking is asking for trouble. It's just asking for trouble. Taxes are theft. Okay? Taxes are fucking theft. Just is. It's my belief. If I can suggest a book for those of you that read, look up a book called End the Fed. It's about the Federal Reserve and how it got started and why we should end it. And it talks a lot about economics and stuff. It's written by Ron Paul. I know some of you guys think he's a kook, and some of the things that he says are a little fucking out there. But a lot of it makes sense if you just have an open mind and you see the story about how it got started. Anyways, guys, I got to get out of here because I'm at like 31 minutes or so, and the milk will be done soon. So be safe. Have a good day. Keep an open mind on both sides. Whether you agree or disagree with me, or agree or disagree with the people who support this petition and this